Today, we will be reading from God's Love, a Bible storybook written by Champ Thornton. And this is called Jesus is Taken Prisoner. And you can find this in the Bible in John 18 and Luke 22 and 23. Jesus and his disciples had been praying in the garden, but Judas and the Pharisees were angry at Jesus, and they were coming to find him. So this is where the story starts. Judas was leading the Pharisees and their soldiers to the quiet garden where Jesus was praying. Jesus knew everything that was going to happen to him, and he was asking his Father for strength. He knew that Judas, the Pharisees, and many soldiers would take him prisoner. Yet this was all part of God's plan to rescue his people. As Jesus finished praying, the dark, quiet garden filled with the light of fiery torches and the noise of rattling swords. The soldiers approached with their hands on their weapons, but they didn't realize that they wouldn't need them. Instead, Jesus stepped right out towards them. He said, "Whom are you looking for?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. Jesus answered, "I am he." At this, the soldiers fell backwards to the ground. When they got up, Jesus said to them, "You've come for me. I will go with you, but let my disciples go free." The soldiers obeyed, and the disciples ran away to safety. Jesus now stood alone with the soldiers, the Pharisees, and Judas. The Pharisees took Jesus to the Roman governor named Pilate. The Pharisees wanted Pilate to put Jesus to death, so they told Pilate a lie. They said, "This man Jesus said he is a king. We all know that the Romans already have a king. This man is trying to kick out the Roman king and take over his kingdom. You need to put him to death." Jesus is condemned to die, from Mark 15 and Luke 23. The Pharisees demanded that Pilate crucify Jesus, but Pilate could find no crime that Jesus had committed. Not wanting to kill a man who hadn't done anything wrong, Pilate put his own plan into action. Pilate said to the crowds outside his palace, "Every year I let you choose one prisoner for me to set free. Who do you want this year? Do you want me to let Jesus go, or do you want me to let Barabbas go?" Pilate thought that the people would want Jesus, not the evil Barabbas, who was a terrible robber and murderer. But the Pharisees stirred up the people against Jesus. They began shouting, "We want Barabbas! We want Barabbas!" Soon the whole crowd joined in. When Pilate heard their shouts and realized that his plan had failed, he gave in, commanding the soldiers to crucify Jesus and let Barabbas go. Though Barabbas deserved to die for his wickedness, Jesus had never disobeyed. Yet Jesus would take Barabbas' place. He would be crucified on Barabbas' cross. Since Jesus was God's son, he could have stopped Pilate. He could have stopped the Pharisees. He could have stopped Judas. Instead, Jesus let himself be crucified because he loved God's people. Like Barabbas, all of us deserve to die because all of us have sinned against God. But on the cross, Jesus let himself be crucified in our place. Jesus died so that we might live with him forever.